are a mystic, a spiritual practitioner, a worker, a spiritual worker, your life becomes very, and I'm talking about drastically different from everyone else's or just the life that you had before. And I remember there was a time that I used to mourn the person that I used to be, or like certain things that I was able to do that I'm no longer capable or able to do. Now, because it's been years, I don't really have those, like, I don't have those mourning feelings, or I don't have those feelings of like, oh, I'm missing out or whatever the case is. Especially when I see people my age who are going down a different path or doing certain things or doing different things, or even if I have somebody who happens to pop up on my social media that I've known like 10 years ago before they even known that I was doing any of this stuff, or before I was, deep into this stuff, who see how drastically my life has changed or whatever the case is. Your Saturday night looks completely different from everyone else, especially if you're in your 20s or your 30s or even your 40s. Things look completely different while people are out, turning up, going to the club, having fun, or whatever the case is. You're usually inside the house because you can't even be around a lot of energies at once unless you're going to a fete or some kind of spiritual gathering, with other people who are like-minded or like energy. So things start looking a little bit different from you, or different for you. You also start to realize that the things that you are doing are not only for yourself. You're no longer living in the energy or living your life solely in just a first person perspective or doing everything just for yourself. At that point, everything starts to become work, or tapping in, tuning in to be able to assist and help others, to assist and help spirits, connect with spirits, so that you're able to do things for the greater good, whether it's the greater good of the spiritual community or humanity or whatever the case is, depending on what kind of work you do. You start to realize that the work and who you are, how you carry yourself, your presence, how important it is that you are keeping a clean image, keeping your hygiene clean, keeping your energy clean, your space clean. I know me, I became very isolated. I don't really like people coming over, and when I do have people coming over, I have to do a whole ritual to clear out the energy, keep everything in balance. And typically the spirits, because I have so many altars in my house, and pretty much my house is altar, I don't have a lot of people coming over, especially if I'm doing like spell work for people who are asking me for spell work or whatever the case is, or getting energy work. I have to keep the energy in my space very balanced. So there's not a lot of people who will come over frequent. Also, when you have certain spirits that need to be served on certain days, or rituals that need to be done on certain days, it kind of makes a damper, or it's a kind of like a change in plans of certain things that you can do. You almost feel like Cinderella in a way, where it's just like the clock strikes 12 and you're like trying to rush back, or you might feel like I can't go because it's gonna get in the way of my plans. Or sometimes you have to plan things at a certain time and do everything before. However, if you are feeling in a way like you're mourning or you're missing out or something, those feelings will go away once you realize your purpose and who you are. Because a lot of the time, when I'm talking about years before, 15, 16 years before I even got into this, I used to always question myself and my purpose, and like, what am I doing here? What am I supposed to be doing here? I feel like I'm meant to do more. I know I'm meant to do more. I know that I'm on this floating rock. Yeah. And everybody has a purpose, but what is mine? What can I do to be able to feel like my life is complete? And it wasn't until I started to get into my spiritual practices, that's where the completion and the fulfillment started to come in. Now, that might not be the same for everybody. And some people, spiritual, working or whatever the case is, might just be a side thing for you. It might be something that you're good at and you're making money. But then there are some people who are a little bit deeper into it, and it starts to become like purpose and fulfillment when you're teaching and guiding others, and trying to show other people, whether it's the light, whether you're working both hands or whatever the case is. You start to realize how important your purpose is, and why it's important for you to protect your energy, protect your peace, do certain practices, miss out on certain things that might not be in alignment with who you are as a person anymore. And you start to get over that when you start to realize like, oh yeah, I really am, I'm that girl, I'm that guy, whatever the case is. Like I'm here because I know I have so much more to do. Now, it's just very important to stay consistent, because it's not always going to be linear where things are, or where it's going to feel like it's always going on an incline. There's going to be times where things might seem like it's a decline. It might be times where, whether you're getting hit with witchcraft, or you're getting hit with darker energies or spiritual attacks or psychosis or whatever the case is, where you have to learn to rebalance that energy, learn new techniques, strengthen your energy, because sometimes the spirits will break you down so that when you're being built back up, you have more strength, you're stronger, you're able to tackle certain things with ease. When you're getting spiritual attacks, when you've been in it for a while, you're just like, oh, whatever, you do a little ritual, you cleanse yourself off, whatever the case is, the energy, something comes in that don't seem right. It's bringing an imbalance in your house. It's bringing like disharmony. You're able to do certain rituals or techniques or routines where you're able to clear and balance that out with ease. And it comes with practice. It comes with understanding, like, yeah, there might be sacrifices. Yeah, you might lose a lot of friends, right? You might lose that circle or those people that you were really close with or you thought that you would always be friends with, because y'all not seeing eye to eye. And sometimes energetically, y'all just ain't in alignment, and you got to cut them people out. You can't be around everybody who's going to be either bringing you down, jealous, envious, don't understand anything, small-minded, don't have the capacity to even like be open-minded to certain spiritual things, and that's okay. You just have to look at a sense of things for self, right? For solely for yourself, what you do and your purpose. Are you happy? What can you do to make yourself happy? And stop looking on what's going on the outside, because sometimes that stuff is just static noise and it's distracting you from what you need to do. Basically, why I'm saying all of this is sometimes you might feel a little bit off on your journey. Sometimes you might feel like you're missing out. Sometimes you might feel like, am I doing the right thing, or whatever the case is. How come somebody's life look like this and mine look like that? You can't compare yourself to somebody else's life. You can only do what makes you feel good. You can only do what makes you feel right or make things feel just in your practice or to you as a person. And that's just going to look different for everybody. You're going to be different from everybody, and that's okay. That's actually a great thing that you're not like everyone else. And it's a great thing that you decided to really walk into your purpose and path, because it's not going to be easy, and that's fine, right? Life is going to throw you challenges. It's all a matter of how you handle it. It's a matter of when these spirits are giving you tools, wisdom, they're coming in your dreams, they're connecting with you, they're talking to you through other people, how you're taking those tools, that wisdom and that information, and utilizing it so that you can continue to elevate on your path.